Okay, who was your inspiration growing up, horse-related or otherwise?
My mom. My mom was. She's, it was neat because she's the person that taught me to think about the horse's point of view. She's the one that, when we were riding the pony or my pony, if I was trying to jump her because I wanted to jump, and she set little pop cans with a little stick across the top, and I'd go up and the pony would stop, and I'd be like, I hate my pony. And she'd say, why do you think the pony did that? Where's my horse? Are we headed towards the barn? Are we headed away from the barn? What do you think? It wasn't just like, kick harder. It was like, what is the horse thinking?
Yeah.
Why is the horse doing that?
Okay. How did Popcorn get his name?
My mom, again, oddly enough, she was at Road to the Horse with me, and I knew that I wanted to buy him because when I signed up to do Road to the Horse, I was kind of concerned about what the long-term effect of doing, like, completely unstarted horse comes into 5,000 people and you start them that fast. I was interested in knowing what that did to the horse, and the best way I could figure was to buy the horse and let him tell me. So I knew that I wanted to buy him, and so I bought him Saturday night without anybody else knowing, and I called my mom who was there, and I said, the horse I was working with all day today doesn't really have a name, and I want to give him a name, but we don't know anything about his bloodlines or anything, and but we know he's from the Cornelius Ranch. That's what the C on his hip is for, is the Cornelius Ranch. And I said, so we know we're from the Cornelius Ranch, and she was like, I said, what names? Because my mom's always been good. We had a red Doberman, and she named it Cayenne. Red Cayenne, like whole, and so she was like, well, the first thing that comes to mind is corny, and I'm like, no. And she said popcorn, and I was like, yep.
Perfect.
So, it just took her a second.
I thought maybe you'd done something.
Well, there were jokes that he's all balled up and looks like he's about to pop like popcorn, but Jesse pretty much insisted for the first 2 years I should have called him Snort, because I don't know if you heard him at the end of the day yesterday, he still was snorting. You should see him when he was actually unbroke.
Oh no.
He snorted all the time. He's like, are you sure we shouldn't change it to Snort?
Yeah.
About popcorn.
Excellent. What's the strangest thing that's ever happened to you at a clinic or an event?
Forgetting to turn the microphone off when you go in the bathroom.
Oh.
That one, or my, but if it wasn't the clinic, then it would have to be when I was riding Roxy in my wedding gown. I showed her in my wedding gown, and the last time I showed her in my wedding gown was at the NRHA Futurity, and my gown kind of scooped off the shoulders and dropped low in the back. But I'd shown her in it like this was like the 5th time, and I'm loafing around the warm-up pad. Everybody went in because I was like 2 horses away, and the zipper ripped out in the back. And so I'm like holding myself in, and 2 little ladies up in the stands were like, honey, do you need help? And, and they were pinning me back together, and the whole ride I was like, get breathe.
Oh no.
So that's
really interesting.
Yeah.
Did you ever anticipate that you'd become this famous?
No.
Yeah, figured that. It's not like you went into this like a celebrity goes into film, and goes, I know what's going to come of that. I didn't think you anticipated any of this at all, right? How do you deal with that?
It's really, I think the horses help keep you humble, because just the way they treat you the same.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter what, they don't really care. And so I think that's good. And I think that, we balance it out where we do go home. And I do laundry, I do dishes, I mow yard, I do all that stuff. And I think that's important too, to keep it all in balance. And I'm very realistic that it could end as fast as it began. So,
what's your favorite thing about training and doing clinics?
Seeing light bulbs go off in horses and people. I like it when the horse goes, oh, or the person goes, oh, I finally get that. So I like to explain things from, so if somebody asks a question, sometimes you'll hear me explain like the answer from 3 different angles. I'll say, this is what it's like with a horse, this is what it's like with a kid, and I'll try, because I'm trying to come around to answer that question from a bunch of angles until that person has that light bulb moment.
And how is your overall experience at 5-star in
Excellent.
Enjoying yourself?
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Very much. Yep. Well put together, well run. Just made it easy for people to get in and out. Made it easy for us to get in and out. The breakfast, the food, the facility. It's all been nice.
So if you were ever invited back, you'd definitely consider?
Yep. Yep. Usually my biggest issue is there's only so many weekends in a year.
Exactly.
It was so funny because she was like, I don't know if this is going to be the perfect weekend. And I'm like, unfortunately, it's the only one I have until we hit to like September.
Oh, you better get in there quick.
Yeah. And she, you know, because she was like, oh, if we can get you into April, I'm like, I'm totally booked. And so, you know, it's just, I don't know.